Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beyond Borders, the U.S. presidential elections, again in the third episode from Kuwait. We are witnessing the final days and the hours of the American presidential elections for 2016. Indeed, an exciting time. With us, Dr. Sirajul Bouyan, professor at Kuwait University, and His Excellency Dr. Shamir Ali, Ambassador of Cooperative Republic of Guyana. With the final stretch in the presidential race to the White House, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump took to their campaign trails trying to recruit undecided voters. According to recent polls, Clinton maintaining a 5% lead on her opponent as the race tightens in the several crucial swing states. Let's see now in this report, and we'll be right back. Clinton accuses Trump of shedding crocodile tears over outsourced jobs.
U.S. presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump sparred over the economy, including NAFTA and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, in the third and final debate. While the Republican nominee has made the outsourcing of American jobs overseas a cornerstone of his campaign, Democrat Clinton accused him of being hypocritical.
So he goes around with crocodile tears about how terrible it is, but he has given jobs to Chinese steel workers, not American.
Trump retaliated by saying ineffective politicians were to blame for making that possible.
For 30 years, you've been in a position to help. And if you say that I use steel or I use something else, I make it impossible for me to do that. I wouldn't mind.
So we've seen the report, and first would like to welcome you, Dr. Shamir and Dr. Bouyan. Thank you for coming. And so you've seen the report. You know, what are your feedback? What are your comments about it?
That is very interesting when Clinton accuses Trump of shedding crocodile tears over outsourcing jobs. She is talking about it because she documented, she mentioned, and it is reported in different newspapers, radio, television also. For example, his ties are made in China.
He's a businessman, of course.
Yes, he's a businessman. And shirts are made in Bangladesh. In other, he is building his steel, that is hotels using cheap, that is steel from China, and he is using undocumented immigrants with less price, less cost to build his hotels. That is the bottom line she's coming from. That is what he says and what he does is quite different.
What about you, Dr. Shamir?
Host Farrah, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum to all the listeners. Namaste and hello. It's a delight, pleasure, and honor to be here. Businesses' primary goal is to create wealth for the shareholders and for the businesses to grow. What Donald Trump is doing, many businesses in America, the big international one, are doing all over the world, and that is the offshoot of global trade and globalization. To accentuate this in the political arena by a presidential candidate is considered a sharp practice in accounting terms.
Thank you so much. My first question is for both of you. As you can see from both candidates' speeches, the candidates are battling on another over the strength of the American economy. What would you say is more attractive to voters? Hillary is praising the economy and showing the progress that has been made thus far, or Trump's method for dismissing the jobs report numbers and convincing his popular otherwise?
Host Farrah, without a shadow of a doubt, America was in crisis when we elected President Barack Hussein Obama. He turned it around in the time his office. And new president, whoever it is, will carry on. It is unfair to bash the past. We went through a crisis, could have been a global calamity, could have been a depression. All that was saved on a democratic watch. How did we cause it? It's the excesses of the past.
Okay, all right.
That's what it is.
And I would like to go back to the facts. Recently, the job report, it came 161,000 jobs created last month. And unemployment rate reduced to 4.9, which is unprecedented. During the Bush, it was above 8 and close to 10. And it is continuously, economy is improving. And that is what Obama is worried that when Donald Trump, if elected,
yes,
he will follow the George W. Bush's policy of bigger tax cut and follow the Republican policy that will put United States in a depression again. So Hillary Clinton is praising, look what we have done, we have achieved last 8 years. We do not want to take it away from us due to Donald Trump's presidency. That is what she's talking about, the progress. What was the improvement in economics? What was the improvement in housing? What is the improvement in job? What is the improvement of African American and jobs and Hispanic jobs and all other racial that is coordination and racial harmony was maintained during that period. And the way Donald Trump is talking about it is not only just economy will be just depressed, it will be, we are going backwards. That is what Hillary Clinton is talking about.
Both candidates are shying away from commenting on their recent scandals, the emails and the videotapes. How effective is this method? Are the scandals distracting the populace from the real issues at hand? Are these scandals going to affect the voter, how it's going to turn out?
Some voters it might, some will not. It says in all the holy book, let he who or she who is without doubt cast the first stone. No one is perfect. For the amount of years candidate is in power, they will have made mistakes. But it's not what mistakes we made, it's how fast and how much and how detrimental it is. Businesses are known for short practices, all within the law. Does it make them right or wrong? Politics, you don't have that luxury. So I wouldn't pay too much credence to that, but the press is doing the sensation to sway voters.
There's something you've showed me,
statistics.
I
was talking about the votes. If you go break down the voters. For example, the voters are, that Hillary Clinton is focusing, both Donald Trump also focusing some voters. Basically, Hillary Clinton is focusing black voters, Hispanic voters, Asian American, and LGBT, Muslim voters, specifically minority voters. You will be surprised to hear that recent report shows that 129% Hispanic voters. 129. They are served. They are just eager. We don't know yet that who they will vote for, but probably Hillary Clinton. And also, I will have another statistics. If you look at, it is from New York Times, and Hispanic voters, Hillary Clinton is getting this year 71%.
Wow.
And Donald Trump is getting 23%. Black voters, Hillary Clinton is getting 88%, Donald Trump 6%. However, whites, Hillary Clinton is getting 38%, Donald Trump is getting 52%.
In what exactly?
In white among the white people,
The white
basically
people.
rural areas, less educated.
Why do you think this happens, Dr.
That is
Shamim?
They're angry, and they're hungry, and they're feeling that the great white promise of America is losing them. But in due respect to my brother Suraj and the statistics, I have one fear, and that in all American elections, Republicans turn out to vote come rain, snow, hail, wind, or storm. However, the Democrats, by virtue of not having the transportation facilities, when it's raining, the numbers will drop. So the silent prayer is that there's no rain, and both candidates will have a fair shake
The
at the
candidates
election.
don't have the support to get transportation happening?
Some do, some more. The
Some don't.
Republicans are, the Democrats are at a great disadvantage when the rain falls, and I know that since a number of years dealing with American elections. Yes.
Another
Yes.
interesting statistics you will find, since we are
Okay.
talking about the issues and all other topics they are discussing, try to pursue voters at this moment. A white man with college degrees, educated, Hillary is getting 44%, Donald Trump is getting 43%, very close. White man without college degrees, Hillary Clinton is getting 29%, and Donald Trump is getting 59%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And white women with college degrees, Hillary Clinton is getting 58%, Donald Trump is getting 33%.
So that means if you're smart, you pick Hillary.
Yeah. White women without college degrees, Hillary Clinton is getting 29%, and Donald Trump is getting 63%.
How did they do that?
That is the statistics.
Statistics, sample.
They sample Washington Post.
Yeah.
How many people took that
That is,
questionnaire?
they are talking about the compiling from different statistics, and it is consistent with the Obama 2008 and 2012 voting ratio.
We do samples and statistic correlation. It's all statistical.
However, one thing that this year, Hispanic voters are rising, and black voters
Declining.
depressed. And for example, North Carolina, in 2012, Barack Obama got 28%. This year, in early voting, 23%. So there is gap. So that is why Obama is going to North Carolina, Florida, Ohio, and different other battleground states.
Okay. Thank you so much. We will continue our discussion, but we will be right back after the break. Welcome back. From the recent campaign stops, we see that both candidates are trying to grab the last votes from the undecided voters and trying to increase voter turnout and how it's going to turn out. We see Hillary trying to recruit the black vote and Trump the veteran vote. Let's watch this report. It's about a couple of celebrities, a surprise. Jay-Z, Beyonce in Cleveland rally out with the Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton.
Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton wrapped up her day of campaigning with a nighttime concert in Cleveland, Ohio. headlined by hip-hop star Jay-Z and by his wife, popular singer Beyonce, as a surprise guest. The superstar couple addressed the audience, urging them to vote for Clinton, who told the audience that there was still more to be done.
Well, we have unfinished business to do, more barriers to break, and with your help, a glass ceiling to crack once and for all.
The two candidates are now tied in Florida and North Carolina, and Clinton's lead in Michigan has narrowed so much that the state is too close to call. Ohio remains a dead heat, though Clinton has a slight lead in Pennsylvania. Clinton is still favored to win Tuesday's election, with a clearer path to winning the Electoral College, but Trump now has a plausible route to victory, especially if there's a sharp fall in turnout among African Americans, following on the levels of the 2012 election.
So we've seen the report, and my first question for you guys, with this African American constitution, 12%, 12.3% to be exact, of the American population, how would you say the decline of their turnout will affect the election results? How effective was Hillary's strategy to recruit the help of the popular culture moguls like Beyonce and Jay-Z and Kanye West, all these people?
Host Farrah, let me make it lucidly clear that I'm representing my own personal opinion as an American voter and no other representation in my government or anything. It's just my personal opinion. Common sense. Any person, whether political office or business, you will accentuate your positive. And Hillary's positive is to use what she has. And bear in mind, in America, we're known as Bill and Hill. That's President Bill Clinton, whose office is in where? Harlem. Where is Harlem? The seat of American African population with a lot of history. So based on this, I expect them to support. They are a little bit disappointed that more was not done for them.
Of course.
But in the end, they will stand up and support because they realize that their interests will be better served with both President Bill, past president, and if Hillary is the president.
Okay.
Very good. I see this the main reason Hillary Clinton is trying to bring some celebrities to energize African American voters, because they saw in the polling, in early voting, black voters are down. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, that is, it is North Carolina. Obama got 28% in 2012, and Hillary Clinton at this moment is getting 23%. It is almost 6 or 7% less. That is the but Obama lost North Carolina in 2012, but he won North Carolina in 2008. That is the reason. It is the symptom that black voters are not coming, depressed a little bit. It is not show up. So that is why they try to energize the black voters with bringing singers and other singers and giving, entertain them. That is the one strategy to make them to vote, early vote. And that is the message Obama, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, all of them are talking about it last couple of days.
Okay.
Also, we are from North Carolina, myself and wife.
Awesome. Okay.
We've lived in North Carolina for 2 years, and there are always technical hitches. It's always what you don't see. The Carolina legislature has passed a law. There is need for voters' license or some registration documents. So elderly Americans, African Americans who are in the state without their papers are unable to vote at this time. However, some is being encouraged by the various agencies to turn up on voting day. whether their name is not on or on the list, and present themselves with whatever they have, and hopefully that will show that the numbers on voting day are likely to change. Those African Americans who, quote unquote, you can be called are disenfranchised because of not having the documentation to prove their residency in the state, and they live their whole lives in the state. That will
What about the
perhaps
veterans?
change.
How do you see Trump getting the veterans? Do they trust him as a commander and a chief? And if so, how come, given that Hillary has more foreign policy experience?
As I mentioned before, that historically Republicans are always getting veterans votes majority. This year is quite different. 37 Republican policy experts endorsed Hillary Clinton, including Colin Powell, former Secretary of Navy, Senator John Warner. Senator McCain does not support Hillary but does not support Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham does not support Donald Trump. As I mentioned, there is veterans are divided, and mostly they are coming towards Hillary. That is the reason. John Hayden, for example, he was the Bush administration chief, that is the very security advisor. He said, no way we can support Donald Trump because of his policy. That is the
Host Farrah, with all due respect, I disagree with my learned brother. The fact is, even President Barack Hussein Obama has failed the veterans. We have to call a spade a spade. A lie is a lie, not a terminological inexactitude. That is the fact.
Yes.
We have failed the veterans, and that is the offset for the drop. There has been a number of scandals, all manner of stuff in the administration. That's the truth. We have to do better.
Of course, but I have a question about the previous report. What segment of the population you think each candidate should target, and why?
Which one?
Like which, how can I say this? I'm going to rephrase it again. Each candidate, of course, they target certain people in certain states. Which of these candidates they should focus on which kind of people?
The question is, which is the growing category, and that's where the Spanish comes in.
Okay.
The Spanish population, and both candidates are trying to woo them. The Bushes have great influence irrespective of the party. Governor Jeb Bush's wife is from Mexico, and that has great influence, and President Bush's thinking of supporting will have influence. And
Let's
I
hold
think
that thought and check out a report together about the Hispanic voters.
As Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump prepared to go head-to-head with Democrat Hillary Clinton in the final third debate in Las Vegas, hundreds of hospitality workers and protesters gathered outside the hotel he co-owns near the Las Vegas Strip. The protesters waved signs and banners next to what organizers called a wall of taco trucks, referring to Trump's proposed wall along the Mexico-U.S. border, and a riff on widely ridiculed comments by Trump supporter Marco Gutierrez that without action on immigration reform, you're going to have taco trucks on every corner. We have fought for our rights, and we don't want Donald Trump to take them away from us. If this man gets the presidency, then everything will be ruined. Our rights, education, and we don't want them to build a wall. There should be no wall and no divided border. The protest was organized by the Culinary Union, representing 57,000 workers in Nevada, and is 56% Latino. The debate gives Trump perhaps his best remaining chance to sway the dwindling number of Americans who are still undecided about which way to vote come November 8th.
Welcome back. 17% of the population in the United States are from Hispanic descent. They are becoming a very influential demographic. How do you explain the low Hispanic turnout in voting, given that they do possess a power to sway the election?
In election day, that numbers will change. They will realize that their survival is dependent on it, their children's education is dependent on it, and they will be, all the statistics will change. They will turn up the vote, and they will see a difference. Because bear this in mind, America 1776 is a nation of immigrants, but we do need, I'm of the view, whoever is president, something has to be done about immigration that is fair to all. And I'm one of those who believe that it says 11 million is undocumented. In my numbers,
11 million.
11 million. In my street smart New Yorker thinking from Wall Street is 3 times that. Because there's no Spanish family with 1.5 child, which is what an average American child has. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Statistics can tell you correlation, but on the ground it's a larger number, and whoever is American president will have to address it in a very dignified and proper way.
Okay.
Hispanic voters will make a huge change this year. Because of Donald Trump rhetorics, they are offended, and majority of the, as I mentioned to you before, 71% Hispanic voters are supporting Hillary Clinton. And that is why, that is the reason, red state, for example, Arizona, Donald Trump is leading only 4%. Texas, it is a red state, and he is also there leading 4 to 5%. Georgia is competitive. And,
Really? Georgia?
and Florida, yes, Florida will be a huge surprise. If
But-
Hispanic voters turned out huge, Florida will be.
Isn't the age groups in Florida shifting to seniors?
Yes, it depends. It is now becoming blue states, some seniors, and some also young population moving there from other states. It is changing
Okay.
towards blue. And that is the reason, that I saw the other day the CNN report that Hispanic voters in Florida are fired up. That is the reason Obama is going there again and again, targeting Hispanic voters and black voters.
And the wall is what is firing him up.
Oh, yeah, the Mexican wall.
That is a bad
yes,
word.
Yes,
the
yes,
wall.
Yes. And there his rhetorics, his comments about there is.
Trump's wall plans have been very alienating to Hispanics, as we
It
said.
should not be to any human being. There should
Can
be
we
no
recover
wall.
from that?
There should be no wall anywhere. This world has changed. There should be no
Maybe-
wall anywhere.
What does
With all
he
due
mean by a
respect.
wall? Does he mean a
But-
rhetorical wall or an actual wall?
Just to shut people out from crossing the border. The border is
He's
porous.
trying to build actual wall, and he said Mexico government will pay for it, but it will be. All research report shows it is
Maybe he's
impractical,
joking.
it will be costly, and
He's playing-
Mexican government will not support it, and never it will happen, and it is his rhetoric, one way to fire up his base, that is the white people, rural voters, and less educated women. He is targeting to fire them up. I think that is the reason he's saying this.
Mexico, America, and Canada are in an economic partnership with NAFTA. That cannot be changed overnight by the stroke of a pen.
Okay.
And there will be free movement of people and goods, but it has to be done the legal way, the right way.
Do you think Hillary's promise to pass the new Comprehensive Immigration Reform Act in the first 100 days of winning the election is going to attract more voters, or do Hispanics see it a false promise?
No. This time I think it will do it. She will try to correct what President Bill Clinton was unable to do and what President Barack Hussein was able to do. I think she will do it if she wants a second term.
One thing that, as
Interesting.
Dr. Samir Ali was mentioning before, that American politics is a very good check and balance. She might have policy for comprehensive immigration, but if Congress
Right.
and Senate
Don't
does not
back
pass
her.
it, for example, Obama could not do it
Yeah.
Of
in
course.
8 years because Republicans could not
Block it.
support it. So it will be a huge problem, but it is a mandate. But probably a lot of Hispanics, blacks voters are giving a lot of support to the congressman and Senate. That is the reason in different states, Senates and Congress are there competitive because of Hispanic votes, and they're trying to take over Democrats, the lower house, Congress and Senate.
Voters,
But
this is very critical to understand.
yes.
If the president party wins the Senate and the Congress, well, sky's the limit.
What should both of those candidates do to attract more Hispanic voters?
They are working their messages. You know, Hispanics are already offended by Donald Trump.
The wall.
They are already fired up in favor of Hillary Clinton.
Hillary,
And she is trying to repeat what he said. She put a lot of advertisement in different Hispanic populated areas using his own words. Hispanics are criminal, they are they are bringing the drugs and all these words she was
all
trying.
nations, you know.
So
I have a question, maybe it's...
just to add, I believe that Hillary's trust for education. Education is pivotal. Irrespective of you're rich or poor, education is the one will transform lives. And I think she's going to hit on that through the Bernie Sanders group and focus on education, and that will attract more Spanish vote. Education is pivotal.
That is what there is
yes.
college educated, there
Yes.
is debt-free education, college
Yes,
tuition-free
yes. That is
education.
gonna
That is
bring in
why
votes.
that is called the Millenniums Group.
Yep, yep.
And there is age 18 to 25, 30. And this group is very important for Hillary Clinton.
And they vote.
And they are voting Hillary Clinton, but less proportionate than Obama. That is why Bernie Sanders is out there every day for Hillary Clinton in Florida, in Texas, in Michigan, in Ohio, and Pennsylvania, all battleground states.
Okay,
He is campaigning.
There's
for.
a special question I wanted to ask you both, especially regarding the report about Hillary trying to get the votes of people through media, through art, through celebrities. Didn't you notice that every time Hillary and Trump went up on the stand and debated, they have been repeatedly mocked and presented in a parody shows on Saturday Night Live, on the news. Do you think that comedy and media and programs and entertainment who are using these news pieces as a way to make a person change their minds?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
let me take this because
everybody is accentuating the positive wherever, because every vote will matter in the end. It can be a close election. It's not impossible.
Because the people are humans and
Yes.
they're real people with emotions.
Whatever ring your bell is, they will try.
Okay, let me, as a media person, I teach the
Journalism,
journalism because it is, as you mentioned, that why they are going to comedy shows and different shows. The reason, what is the function of media? To inform people, to educate people, entertain people, to persuade them. So there are audience is segmented this way. That is, for example, for comedy show, there are huge audience, right? And they go there, they talk about and try to touch their issues there in a funny way. And one way, then another thing, they're bringing celebrities in the campaign trail. The reason they try to entertain as well as inform voters why they are there to help them. You observe that celebrities also talk about the issues, why they are supporting Hillary Clinton. Then they do their shows, entertain them, fire them up to
So
vote
it's all
for
purely
Hillary, to convince them.
entertainment. Don't you think that, like, for me, if I watch something about how, if I see Alec Baldwin performing and making fun of a certain idea, don't you think an American guy would laugh and maybe he loved Alec Baldwin, he would do another decision, his opinion about a politics change? especially that you've mentioned in your statistics that the people with college education and people without college education their opinions are varying in when it comes to making a decision about Trump or Hillary.
Remember, as I mentioned, that it is only 1 or 2, 3% undecided.
Okay.
They have decided.
Let's visualize for a second. If you were the advisor of one of the nominees, you can
right.
make your pick, or you can decide on both. What would your agenda be for them? What would you advise them to do?
The 3 C's.
It's your turn after him.
The 3 C's. America is a great country. It can be greater with communication, compromise, and consensus.
Okay.
You use that and bring hope. Election is over. You're the government in power. Manage the country for all.
But I need something tangible, like a first thing you do.
The first thing you do is have a national conference and find out which priority. 7 priorities: immigration, trade. Everybody wants job. Create the job. There are billions of dollars companies have outside because of the high taxation. It's not coming in. The last 2 efforts, the government did not put rules and regulation, and the monies came back, and businesses paid executive bonuses, buyback stock option, companies got richer. For the monies, the repatriation of funds, billions of dollars that are outside in foreign countries, to come back with a tax, with a condition the monies must be spent in America buying equipment, and that will create the opportunities. But the biggest problem America's faced is not having the qualified people for the technical jobs that are around, and these have to go overseas, and these are the high-paying jobs. It comes back to education, education, and education will be my number one.
Number one,
So
okay.
to transform America into the 21st
That's
century.
if you were an advisor for
Yes,
Trump or Hillary,
yes.
both ways.
Education.
Okay. Your turn. Mr.
Well, yes, education is important, but they have to. Hillary Clinton has to say the core positive policy issues to the public now. And the reason she is distracting, because Donald Trump does not talk about any policies. He is talking about the negative of Hillary Clinton.
He's actually it is positive. The media, that's his
yes.
strength.
So she was trying to be positive. Do you remember her slogan? When they go low, you go high. But he is always in the low. He is trying to distract.
So if you were Trump's advisor, what would you do?
I would say stay on the positive message, what he is doing now. If he used to do it before, he could have done better. But Hillary Clinton now becoming negative. The reason he is becoming negative about her, and recent FBI report just killed her lead from 14 to 2 or 4%, 2 to 4%. That is the reason she is trying to push his character issue. He is not a temperamentally fit for this commander-in-chief. He is not temperamentally fit for other issues. For example, a lot of women accused him of sexual harassment. She is talking about all those issues, hinting those issues, and making 2 or 3% people to vote for her, to pursue independent voters, motivate independent voters.
My advice to both will be, you're a leader of the nation, build up and not destroy.
Perfect, that makes perfect sense. Well, you actually concluded our episode with really wise words. I would like to personally thank both of you, Dr. Shamir, Dr. Bouyan, for your attendance. That means you're very dedicated to helping us understand the American elections. This has been Beyond Borders. Thank you for watching. Good night.